Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty. And I got something new for y'all. Let's see if this catch on. If the people like this, I'll continue to give it to y'all. I'm probably going to produce 10 to 30 of these and make it pop off. But y'all need to let me know if y'all like these, and I'm going to give these to y'all. We're going to call this, I'm conflicted between calling this either famous people problems or celebrity-ish. But for this video, we can call it celebrity-ish. And I want to speak about the Tory Lanez, Kelsey, and Megan Thee Stallion situation. And what I want to do is, I want to explain to y'all why Tory Lanez did not snitch on Kelsey and allowed himself to go to prison, okay? There's two major reasons why Tory Lanez, being innocent in my opinion, decided to not snitch and allow himself to go to prison and suffer. And now, what we know over the last 2 weeks is potentially die after being stabbed 14 times, including in the torso and once in the left side of his face, okay? This video is going to be a banger. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're new here. Without further ado, let's get to it, right? So, let's talk about the fact that there's new evidence, there's ring camera footage. Kelsey's old bodyguard said that Kelsey was the one who had the gun. We already knew, right, that Tory Lanez didn't have any of his fingerprints on the gun, right, or the clip, or the bullets. So the fact that he even went to prison for this was crazy in the first place. We already know that the evidence against him was shaky, and it did leave reasonable doubt that he should have been able to go home on. We also know that there was that not we also know, but if you're somebody like me and you pay attention to celebrity gossip, you may have come across the clip of Whack 100 on the Danza Project, where he stated that the reason why Tory Lanez was even convicted was because this thing happened in LA, and it was an election year, right? And they basically put Tory Lanez down in order to guarantee that there's a certain winner for the election, and the people in the DA, you know, like basically a lot of people were granted privileges, or a lot of people stood to benefit from Tory Lanez going to prison over the Megan Thee Stallion case. We talking about Save Black Women and you know, all that other stuff, right? Here's the reason why. The two reasons why, despite all of this, and Tory Lanez being innocent, he decided, right, to not snitch. For one, Tory Lanez is a singer, yes, but more importantly, he's a rapper, and he's an artist within the industry, and he makes street records, okay? He talks gangster stuff on his records. No rapper wants to be known as a snitch, right? You get exposed as a snitch and it's undeniable, right? Your career is basically over. Everybody can't be like Gunna where you view that as a snitch, and then because your music is so good, you happen to luck out when you come home. Not everybody could be that lucky. Tory Lanez was probably thinking, hey, if I snitch and I come home, what fans am I going to have? I'm going to lose female fans, I'm going to lose my street edge, or I'm going to lose my street edge and then I'll just have to make girl records, right? Tory Lanez was signed to Interscope to make girl records, and he got into beef with his label because that's all they wanted him to do was sing and make girl records, but his love for rap superseded his love of making girl records. And because they would not give him the proper deal for making his street records is the reason why he was doing whatever he wanted, and he had beef with the label in the first place, and why he didn't re-sign when his deal was over. He had to think in the long run, which is, if I snitch, even if, right, I'm right, and I don't deserve to go to prison, I then put one, possibly two black women in prison, right? And I'm known as a snitch. What rappers, and you gotta understand, because I'm a Tory Lanez fan and because I'm a rapper as well, Tory Lanez possibly also was thinking, if I want to get into a lyrical beef with anyone and display my talents over them, right? What edge can I have if they're going to go into it saying, yo, at the end of the day, how tough are you? You snitched on the girl. He did not want to have the stain of a snitch on his name. He didn't want to have that on his jacket, right? And now the number two reason, and maybe the biggest reason, and then if this is the case, and Torey ends up coming home, and all of this comes into fruition, you gotta call Tory Lanez possibly the smartest and the biggest marketing geniuses, right? Because let's keep in mind, he's an independent artist. Marketing geniuses in music history, not just rap history, right? If he knew that even if he had to suffer by going to prison for a couple years, if he knew without a shadow of a doubt that he was still going to come home before the 10 years is up and still be able to be witty and still mean something to the game, what if Tory Lanez said, you know what? Worst come to worst, I go to prison, I'ma beat it on the pill. All this extra evidence that they suppressing is eventually gonna come out. And now I get to have the narrative, right? Because he didn't snitch, he gets to have the narrative of, instead of being the man who shot at Megan's foot and said, dance, bitch, dance. Now he has a narrative of the man who saved a black woman from potentially being killed. And not only that, I saved a black woman from potentially being killed by another black woman. The only thing I was guilty of was sleeping with both of them and lying about it, right? I didn't deserve to go to prison for that though. But I saved black women's life. I saved two black women's life, kept both of them from being scrutinized to the nth degree, right? I kept Kelsey from going to prison as well, right? Someone who is now a mom, and by the way, she had that baby right before the trial in order to look good, right? Same thing Cassie did, but anyways, I falsely was sent to prison. All the evidence comes out. I'm gonna get to come home. I'm gonna get to sue the state of Los Angeles. I'm gonna get to sue the state of Los Angeles. I'm gonna get to sue Meg, right? I'm going to get millions of dollars. We talking about a potential 7-8 digit $1 million lawsuit that Tory Lanez is going to be able to sue the state of LA for. And then I get to come home, still be an independent artist, make my music and rap about it, even though he's gonna have to sign some kind of NDA. Like, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna be able to, legally, they're gonna make it so he's not gonna be able to really speak on the Meg situation or throw shots at her. But he still gets to rap about being the guy who saved two black women, increasing his female audience, right? I saved two black women. I've ended up getting stabbed and almost losing my life over this. And then I get to come home and gloat about it, and I don't even gotta rap no more if I don't want to. Do y'all know the kind of story that this man will have for the rest of his life? Do y'all understand the book deals, the Lifetime deal, TV deal, docu-series, nigga, comic books, all of that can happen from him potentially being able to come home and being proven innocent after all this happened? And not only that, out of all the evidence that has come out, there's even more evidence that's gonna come out. We got people signing petitions to bring Torey home. We got famous people signing those petitions. We got people demanding that the governor of California pardon Tory Lanez. There's a lot going on. This story could be one of the craziest and most triumphant stories in music history. Not even music history, just American history. Exposing the injustice of the judicial system, especially in Los Angeles, who's been corrupt for the longest, right? There's alleged corrupt things that went on in the justice system that had to do with Pac and Biggie. All the illegal things going on with the judicial system in LA, there's a potential for a lot to happen. And what if Tory Lanez said, I'm willing to risk it all, even if it means I gotta be out of my own kid's life for a couple years? What if Tory Lanez is playing a long game and his game is about to be won? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God gifted. That's touched by an ink. That's on the dome, nigga.